There's a certain kind of soul out there, the dreamer, the fighter, the one still trying to piece it all together. And if you're one of those people waking up each day to the sound of an alarm that feels like a battle cry, dragging yourself out of bed when all you want is just 5 more minutes, then know this: God is watching you. He sees you, every single step. You might think your efforts go unnoticed, that no one really sees the struggles, the quiet sacrifices, the moments when you choose to show up, even though every fiber in your being wants to disappear. But God sees you. He sees it all. Every tear, every whispered prayer, every tiny victory that feels so insignificant to the world but means absolutely everything to you. You might be tempted to think that the real battle lies somewhere in the future, tomorrow, next month, next year, when life finally clicks, when you get that job, that breakthrough, that perfect moment. But the truth, the battle isn't somewhere off in the distance. The battle is today, right here, right now, in this moment. It's that moment when you feel like giving up, when you don't feel ready, when the world feels like it's racing past you. That's the battle. And every time you choose to show up, you're winning it. Success isn't some towering mountain that you conquer in a single leap. No, it's the small steps, the quiet victories, the choice to be present. Even when it's easier to stay in the shadows, showing up doesn't mean showing up perfectly. It means showing up as you are, flawed, uncertain, maybe even afraid, but here, right here. In a world that's obsessed with perfection, flawless lives, perfect careers, instant success, it's easy to feel like you're not enough. But life isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. God didn't place you here to be perfect. He placed you here to try, to learn, to grow, to keep showing up. No matter how many times you fall, you don't have to be the best. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to have the courage to show up as you are, because sometimes showing up is the bravest thing you can do. Success isn't reserved for the most talented, the smartest, the people who seem to have it all together. It's for those who show up, day after day, even when the odds are stacked against them. It's for those who keep going when it feels like they're moving through mud, when every step forward feels like 3 steps back. God doesn't ask for perfection. He asks for faithfulness. He sees your heart. He knows your struggles. And every time you show up, especially on the days you don't feel like it, you're telling him you trust him, that you believe he has a plan, even if you can't see it right now. Tough times, hard days, those mornings when life feels overwhelming, when you don't know if you have the strength to keep going, those are the moments that count the most. Those are the holy days, the days when God is working in you, shaping you, refining you. It's easy to show up when everything is smooth, but on the hard days, that's where your character is built. That's where your faith grows. That's where God meets you. He sees you trying, sees you pushing through the pain, the doubt, the fear, and every time you do, you're telling him, I believe. You're training your mind to keep going, even when your heart isn't in it. And each time you choose to show up, you grow a little tougher, a little wiser, and a whole lot closer to the person you're meant to be. You might not have an audience, no applause. Sometimes it feels like no one cares. But remember, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. For that future version of yourself who will look back and thank you for showing up, especially when it was hard. Change the narrative. It's not I have to work out. It's I get to move my body. It's not I have to work. It's I get to create, to provide, to contribute. It's not I have to show up. It's I get to grow, to learn, to be better than I was yesterday. When you start to see every day as an opportunity instead of an obligation, showing up doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like a gift, a chance to prove to yourself that you are not your failures, your fears, or your fatigue. You're stronger than that. You are here. Every time you show up, you're building your future, brick by brick. And it might not look like much now, but every effort counts. Every minute you invest in yourself, in your dreams, in becoming a little better than yesterday, it all adds up. Your future doesn't just happen. You create it. Every single day, starting with the choice to show up. It's easy to celebrate the big wins, but let's start celebrating the daily victories. Waking up early, choosing the apple over the donut, finishing that project, picking yourself up after a setback. These are the moments that define you. These are the moments that matter. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Be proud of showing up, even when it's messy, even when it's imperfect, even when it's tough. You don't have to move mountains today. Just take a step. Answer that email, make that call, go for that run, open that book. It's not about the size of the action. It's about the action itself. It's not about doing something extraordinary every day. It's about doing something. Every time you show up, you're saying to the world, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still trying. And that's more than enough. Your journey isn't measured by applause or recognition. It's measured by your willingness to keep going, to keep showing up for yourself, even on the days when no one else can see the effort it takes. Because you know, every day you choose to show up, every moment you put one foot in front of the other, you're honoring the life you've been given. You're building something monumental within you. Keep going. Even if the progress is slow, even if you're the only one who knows the effort it took to get out of bed today, keep building that life, brick by brick, choice by choice, because the reward isn't just the destination, it's in the journey, in every moment you choose to be present. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up.